Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is build video number 6 in the stealth plane series. The last one we went a little bit long. I know I'm trying to keep them under 25-30 minutes. The last one was 40. So in this video, or last video, we installed the servos and our control surfaces, and ran the wires, all that kind of stuff. So now there's no longer a need for these panels that cover under the bottom to not be installed. So we're going to go ahead and install those and continue moving forward. So hot glue gun is heating up. I just checked. Again, always check your glue gun. You see how I don't have a lot of glue, and we're going to be doing a lot of surfaces. So what to do is take and just heat up another stick. You can also buy longer sticks of glue if you want. This works just fine for me, and I heat that up and I touch it into the end there, and again giving it 20-30 seconds to dry. That's going to give us plenty of glue to make sure that we don't have a pause in the gluing and then the glue hardens on us. That's it. It's now attached on. We're ready to go. Don't need the knife. So in these surfaces we have this little bit of a bend, this little bit of an angle going on, and we want to set that before we start gluing the edges. That way when we're pulling the edges in, they're gluing to this and it's not changing that angle. So the way we do that is we're going to match it up like so, make sure that we're all good. And you see how if I flex my fingers, that pulls it into those edges where they're at, and that puts our bend in there. So we've got that groove. We're going to take our glue gun and we're going to run a bead straight on down that little angle. And it's okay to go a little bit bigger. It's not a big deal. We're going to come over to our edges and we're just going to squeeze that like so, getting that angle, and we're going to hold it. And let that dry. We'll sing a song in our head. And we definitely want this to be able to set correctly. So we're going to hold this for a good minute and a half, 2 minutes. A lot of dead space. I do want to thank everybody for coming back and seeing these videos. I really hope that this is entertaining and instructional for everybody. Of course, I am looking for comments. I'm happy to answer those. Actually, this is probably a really good time to say 25 subscribers and a lot of people watching the videos. So if you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel. If you like the videos, please like it. Mark it that you like it. Again, feel free to say comments or ask questions. I'm happy to answer. I am not a professional RC pilot. I'm just a hobbyist in this, as most of us are. Having fun, trying new ideas. I'm not afraid to experiment with stuff. That is probably the best advice I can give to people is you can follow plans. You can go download plans for a plane and make it exactly to spec. And it's going to fly exactly like it's been designed to do. But that's not a challenge to me. I can easily build somebody else's plans. The idea for me is to make something that nobody else has made, or improve on stuff, find new ways to do things, experiment, right? Experimental Airlines, I love what he does. He takes basic things that You know, this is the staple of how you do this, how you put all this together. And then I'm going to do variants on it and see what those variants do. All right, we can let this go. And you can see this is holding its shape. We do have a little extra glue down in here. What we can do, just to clean that up a little bit. And we're going to do small areas at a time, holding this to maintain our angle. And we're just going to run the tip of our glue gun back and forth. Now we haven't cleared the paper off of this. And we're going to do that next. So what this is doing is just thinning that little line down. We don't have to worry so much about necessarily melting the foam underneath too much. There's a big area over here. I want to melt that down so that when I clear this paper, there we go, it'll clear that up. All right. So I should have done the paper first at the beginning. Sometimes I forget because I get into the whole video of things and just forget where I'm at. So we're gonna peel this paper now. I'm gonna peel towards that joint where I put the glue. There we go. It's coming right out. The other side again. We're taking the paper off because it does add weight. With the paper on both sides of, well, now see, I just let that loose, so we'll have to just come back and fix that. Because we want this tight and right. Alright. So, I don't know whether you saw it, but it did just release that a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and pinch that again, and I'm going to come back with my glue tip, and I'm just going to move that glue from side to side. I think what I'm going to do is add a little bit in there and then just move it side to side like this. That way it secures in that joint. I'm just warming the glue up a little bit and moving it side to side. Creates a much stronger joint when the glue is not just in between, but also where it's on the side of the walls. Alright. Hold that, let that dry. The next thing we're going to do, now that this is set, is we'll take our tape off of one side, and we're just going to glue one side at a time, making sure that it's butt up even here and that the edge is nice and clean and secure. So we'll tape it down, hinge it. We'll use the tape to hinge that, lay our glue down, and then we'll place it down right where we need to. If by doing that, that hinge, so we can line this up just like so, and we're going to glue this edge first, so I'm going to make sure we're lined up. I'm going to go ahead and place our tape down. You see, it allows us to hinge this and get right down, so that we don't have to try to hold it. We can just concentrate all of our efforts on this edge, making sure it's lined up. So we can take the tape off of here. We don't need it anymore. It's actually going to get in the way. And we're going to hold that edge. If for some reason you wanted to, you could glue it down and tape it. I prefer to just visually make sure that that edge is good and clean. Plenty of glue in our glue gun. We're ready to go. We're going to flip this up, and we're going to lay that bead of glue right down the edge. Come across, place it down, again making sure that that is nice and even and butted up. Push it down. Our edge is nice and clean. It's looking beautiful, and we're just going to hold that down until our glue dries. Again, sing a little song. Getting back to what I was saying while glue is drying. Um, liking the videos, all the comments, all that kind of stuff. It definitely helps. Um, and there is no stupid question. It's if you don't know, you don't know. So ask the question. Don't be afraid. Um, if anybody on this channel, uh, harasses you for a question that you ask, don't worry. I will take care of that person. We do not allow harassment here. Um, you know, unless somebody's told you, um, or you've seen it somewhere, you don't know the information until it's presented to you. So never feel stupid for not knowing uh, the answer to a question. This is all learning. We're constantly learning, and that's the whole idea of this, is that we're all learning, we're all figuring stuff out as we go. So super important not to get discouraged from asking a question. Alright, now this next one is going to be a little tougher. We cannot hinge it because this edge is now glued. We're going to take the tape off. What we can do is just separate a little bit, and we're going to run a bead of glue down this edge here, and then we're going to press back down and again hold. So that should be good. And we're not lifting a lot here. We're just going to lift it a little bit, just enough to get that glue gun down inside. There we go. You see, we have just enough to lift it. Plenty of glue in our glue gun, and we're going to run that bead right on down. Just like that. Running it down. And matched or even. Edge looks. There we go. Wipe any of that excess glue. You can use a squeegee to do that. Don't necessarily use your fingers. Happy with that, and we're pressing down. So everything's nice and even. So again, getting on that, please don't harass each other. There's enough bad stuff happening in the world. We don't need to take it out on other people or harass people. My opinion, if you're harassing people, it's just because you don't feel good about yourself. You're not happy with yourself. So, turn it inwards. Find out, why aren't you happy? What can I do to be happier in my life? Why do I feel that I need to put other people down to feel good about myself? So again, people, don't worry. I will defend you if somebody's harassing you on my channel, especially. I don't want to allow that kind of stuff, and I don't want it to happen. So ask the questions. It's really important. Alright, now that that is dried enough, we can go ahead and peel this paper right off. We no longer need it, so we'll just take it right off. It's alright if it comes off in pieces. Sometimes it happens. This is a little piece here because of the glue. You just pick that right off. There we go. If it gets too bad, you can always sand this. But that is our glued piece. Nice and clean. A little bit of extra glue here, but that's not going to matter. We are going to tape this edge with our white tape to strengthen that up. I could take the glue and put a bead of glue down and smooth it too if you don't have the tape. I'm going to run the tape down there because, again, it's a belly lander, so any extra protection that I can put down, the better off it is. I do have less of the wobble today, which is really good. I'm kind of happy about that. I think having these covers on helps flatten everything down. It puts it into space for when we initially laid these down. It squished stuff down, and so I found by putting these on, it tended to take a lot of that wobble away. So that's a good thing. Alright, so we're not going to do what we did the last time. We're going to peel paper first. Peel it right out of there. And we're going to work on our front. Actually want to do a little bit like this. Alright, bead of glue. Straight on down. Doesn't have to be crazy. And take it over to, oops. Got caught there. Forgot about that, folks. We're just gonna give it a little bend. We didn't want to glue this into place yet. We want to do all that as a one piece. Again, getting ahead of myself a little bit. Because I'm trying to be clever on the fly as I go describing stuff. So I'm just putting the bend into it. The lucky part is, I never went too far with that bend, so it should be just fine. We're going to squeegee out that extra glue. Now that it's a little cooler, it comes right off. We're going to see how that test fits. Yeah, luckily, we never over bent this, so it went to an angle, which is great, and I was able to pull it back. You can always, I think what I should have done was put it on like this, test fit it, and held it with my hand, and then run the bead of glue down, and that would have been wonderful. Just the way to do it. Alright, now on this piece, we're going to peel this. We don't get the luxury of hinging it. And why we don't get the luxury of hinging it is because it needs to glue to this surface, and to this surface at the same time. Which means we got to be on the ball. My head will probably get in the way. Luckily, we can use that the center part to get it settled in to that nook. I'm just test fitting everything, making sure it's exactly where I want it to go, how I want it to go. That's sitting down on everything really nice and snug. I'm happy with the fit. Alright, now we go for it. 1, 2, 3. That's where we're gluing. So I'm going to put my finger here. And we go. 1. Come on, glue them. There we go. 2. And 3. And then here. Set it. Slide it into place. Checking those edges, making sure they're good. Slide that. There we go. That's nice and even. Right at the tip there. Right at the tip there. Yep. A little bit out on this edge there. Okay. Everything's flush and pressing here. Continue checking, making sure nothing's moved. And we're gluing it in. It's a little more difficult than the piece there was. We were able to, hinge that one. Not able to hinge this one. But again, we have this triangular fuselage that this little bend cradles down into, so it helps us. It's all about having that ability to know where it's going to go. And again, if you don't get it seated perfect that first time, you do have a little bit of time with the glue to get it moved and sat in. You don't have a whole lot of time, but you do have some. Okay? And we're sitting down, everything's flush, Still looking good, feeling good. This is really going to keep everything rigid. I still have just that little bit right there with things holding down. Let's see what we can do to fix that. Really see where the bend is happening. We're holding this for a good little bit of time. And again, we have our opening here. You know, we still need to put a fin here and 2 fins down here that will, when it does belly land, and it'll land onto those and the prop won't hit the ground. That is the idea of that. It's feeling really nice and cool now, which is good. You'll get heat through here. You can feel that heat. Why it takes a little longer, if you're doing an exposed area, a lot of times that will dry within 30-40 seconds. If you're doing something where you're compressing 2 pieces together, because this foam makes a great insulator, it holds on to that heat, and that's one of the reasons why we have to let it sit for a little bit longer. Alright, I'm pretty sure that's glued down nice. Let's get a peel on this last piece of paper. And just peel around the edges. There we go. And there we go. That is our fuselage all closed up. Again, nice and strong, really, really rigid. Again, this is our weak point, but it doesn't twist, doesn't really bend. So I'm very happy with that. And with that, we're pretty much done for this video. Our fuselage, our bottom fuselage is done, and we're ready to move on. So in the next video, we're going to be flipping this over, and I'll probably have to make a cradle or something to hold this so that it doesn't tilt so much on me. I made a mock-up of the canopy. Just to show you real quick, that's where it would be, were this to be the canopy. Obviously we cut out the section underneath. It's okay. I'm not 100% happy with it. What I actually want to do, when I did it on the drawing, I tried to keep it right within where that opening is, thinking that's what I needed to do. And after realizing what I had done and the fact that I don't have to try to contain it in the fuselage, I can actually go over it. That's the new plan. I think this just looks a little small for the plane scale-wise, so I will be remaking this. Again, this is all test stuff, so I've got plenty extra foam to play with. I am going to make this out of 1 sheet, but again, it's a test. We're trying something out. So still, with everything that I'm doing, weight-wise, I'm not putting more on by using scrap and going through something. This just means I'm using more than 1 sheet to create stuff, but we're actually not going to have more than 1 sheet total foam in the model, and that's very important. So that's where we'll be the next time, is we're going to cut open our cockpit, and we'll start looking at where we're going to put all of our electronics. So that'll be in the next video. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hopefully, again, I hope you're enjoying this. I hope you find as much joy in watching this as I have in doing it. I wanted to note one thing. I did put some of that fiber tape down in here to cover the wires. In case anything does happen, this will create a little bit more protection for that wire to protect it from the propeller. So I obviously didn't do it in the video, but when I turned it over, I got easy access, so it was easy to just do that there versus doing it on this side. So there we are, folks. Again, hope you had a good time. Like and subscribe if you can. If you would, I would appreciate it. Go make it, folks. You can do it, just like I have. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you in the next video.